You're all having a great time. So in our video today, we'll talk about two types of conditional sentences. And as the title here suggests, they are the zero and first conditionals. So let us start. We'll go through some 4 important points. What are conditional sentences? The present simple tense, Type 0 conditional sentences, and Type 1 conditional sentences. First, we'll start with a simple definition of a conditional sentence. A conditional sentence is a sentence that consists of 2 parts, a condition and a result. Example: if it rains, I won't go to the party. Here we have the condition, if it rains, and then the result, I won't go to the party. Or we can flip these 2 parts and the sentence becomes, I won't go to the party if it rains. This part is still the condition, this one is the result. I must note that won't here is a contraction of will not. First, we'll explain a little bit about conditional sentences. The purpose of such a conditional sentence is to show that if a particular thing happens, it will cause another thing or another particular thing to happen as a result. Both of these actions are connected and related to each other. And I must note that when the if is at the beginning of the sentence or in the beginning of the first clause of the sentence, we separate these 2 parts with a comma. But when we add if to the second clause and it becomes in the middle of the sentence, we don't add a comma, we just omit it. Now, what is the present simple tense? Well, a question that might come to your mind is, why do we have to talk about the present simple tense when the lesson is about zero and first conditionals? Well, the present simple tense is necessary for us to construct correct zero and first conditional sentences, and we'll learn why and how when we come to them. But now let us focus on the present simple tense. It is a form of a verb that has the function to show that a verb has one of the following aspects. It means, when we use the present simple tense, we want to show that the verb or the action happens in the present, or it happens in the present time and regularly. When it's a habit or a fact, like I exercise every day. This is a habit. This is something I do every day. Not me, of course. Sally drinks water every 5 minutes. Well, I don't know why, but this seems to be a habit of hers. Or we want to show that the action will happen at a fixed time in the future. For example, the train leaves at 8 a.m. tomorrow. The show starts at 10 p.m. tonight. Well, this means that we have a schedule for this thing to happen, and we are certain it will happen at this particular time. We have learned this in the future forms when we use the present simple tense. Now that we have understood or have a clear definition of the present simple tense, now we will learn how to use it or how to make this present simple tense, to form it. We have 2 cases, when the sentence is affirmative and when it is negative. We'll start with the first one. When the sentence is affirmative, this means it doesn't contain a not. If the subject is I, we, they, you, or any plural noun, we use the base form of the verb. Example: I usually read books that talk about animals. I, here, subject belongs to this group of subjects. And the verb here, read, is in the base form. No additions, no changes to the verb. We add it as it is. My friends need to be more responsible. My friends, this is a plural noun. We have the S for the plural here. Need is a base form of the verb. Adam and Muna are bored. Are here is the present simple form of be. We must know that. The second group of subjects, he, she, it, or any singular noun, we add s or es to the base form of the verb. So here we only have a little simple change that we add an s or es to the verb. He watches TV every day. Since the subject is he, we added es to this verb. Muna likes chocolate, since Muna is a singular noun. This picture looks amazing. So the present simple tense is very simple. It doesn't need anything. You just need to know that we add an s or es to the base form of the verb when we have a subject that is a he or a she or it or any singular noun. In the negative form of the verb, and we have the first group, I, we, they, you, plural noun as subject, we add don't to the base form of the verb. I don't know this guy. We just added don't, and we kept the same base form of the verb. Boys don't enjoy cooking. They aren't there. Here we have a bit of a difference. We don't have a don't. That is because, as I mentioned before, are is the present simple form of the be. It is a be form. And be forms, we can add to them the not directly. We don't have to put don't before them. We just add it to them. And with the contraction here, it becomes aren't instead of are not. If the subject is a he or a she or it or any singular noun, we add doesn't to the base form. So here we add don't, and in this case we add doesn't to the base form. And we don't add an s to the verb, just a doesn't, because doesn't has the s. She doesn't seem fine. The dog doesn't eat well. And the last one, which is irregular as this one mentioned before, this isn't right because is a be form and we add the not directly to it. Now that the present simple is clear, we have to know how to use it to make zero conditional sentences. Now we know the form, the function, and the form of the present simple. We have to know the function and the form of the zero conditional sentences. The function. We use the zero conditional when we want to talk about facts or things that are generally true. So when we have any scientific facts, common sense, things we all know or should know, we use the zero conditional type with them. This is its form. And by looking at it, we notice that we use the present simple tense in two parts of the sentence. If you heat ice, it melts. Here we just have the present simple tense, and here too. If you win in the Olympic Games, you get a golden medal. So these are the verbs in red. If humans keep damaging the earth, it demolishes. And as I said before, if the if comes in the first clause of the sentence, we separate the two clauses with a comma. The second case, when we split these two parts, when we put the result in the beginning and if becomes in the second clause, we don't separate these two parts with a comma. So the first sentence, this one, becomes ice melts if you heat it. And the second one, you get a medal if you get a golden medal if you win in the Olympic Games. And the last one, earth demolishes if humans keep damaging it. So we just copied the same second part. We put in the first and then omit the comma and put the first the first clause in the second part. Now for the first conditional sentences. The function. First conditional is used to talk about actions or events in the future which are likely to happen or have real possibility of happening. The first difference between first conditional sentences and zero conditional sentences we can notice from this sentence is that the function is different. The function of the zero conditional is to talk about scientific facts, common sense, things that are true. But the function of the first conditional is to talk about predictions, things we expect to happen in the future, things that might happen. They have the possibility to happen. Now we'll notice the second difference when we look at the form of this sentence. Well, for now there's no difference. But when we come to this part, we have a new guest. In the first conditional sentences, in the condition part, the F is followed by the present simple form of the verb, just like the zero conditional sentences. But in the result clause, the subject is followed by either a will or want plus the infinitive verb. That is the only difference in the form. If you get a full mark, I will reward you. If you don't get there on time, if I don't get there on time, my mom will be angry. If you don't do the work, you won't get paid. If she has the time, Nadia will join us. So here we just add the present simple form of the verb with an S or without an S if it's affirmative, or with don't or doesn't if it's negative. And in the second part, the one in gray, we have will plus infinitive or want plus infinitive. The second case and the last thing I want to say is when we exchange these two parts with each other, and we have the results in the beginning and the condition clause and the second place. I will reward you if you get a full mark. My mom will be angry if I don't get there on time. You won't get paid if you don't do the work. Nadia will join us if she has the time. The only change here is that the part where we have the will or the want is at the beginning. We don't have a comma in between. We have the if and then the present simple form. Well, that was everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.